Hey there, it's Mikhail and Cayenne, and we are here to talk about what we're going to do about the problem that I told you about on Friday. So I'll put the video at the end of this one so you can jump back and see it if you need to. But basically, the situation is this. I had 2 seed trays that completely failed. They made cotyledons, they didn't even make real leaves. The cotyledons started to disappear, blah, 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 blah. Fast forward, I discovered that they were aphids. I know, aphids are terrible and we don't like them. She's right. So I cried at you and I laughed at my pain, and I briefly mentioned in that video that I have a plan. So today, I'd like to go over that plan, and aphids weren't the only problem. So let's get into what the rest of the issue was. So in addition to the aphid problem, which was definitely a problem, it wasn't just the seedlings that got eaten. There were not full-grown plants. There were good-sized plants that got decimated as well. But the aphids didn't stop them from making true leaves. So what did? All I can figure out is a nitrogen deficiency, and actually that possibly my potting soil was stealing nitrogen. And the way that I figured that out was that I planted in ground with the same soil, and those plants failed as well, and they did not have aphids. And it's like once they hit that potting soil, they just stop whatever they were doing. I sifted straight up wood out of that potting mix the other day, and there's lots and lots of wood in there. That could be the problem. That bag is from last year, which lose what nutrients were in there, but it shouldn't be robbing nutrients. I don't think it's because it was old, but I also have heard other homesteaders on YouTube talking about they used this same bag mix last year and they had a real problem with it too. I did have one other clue that my problem was almost definitely in the soil itself and that it was a nutrition problem. If you will remember my silly tomato experiment, these are doing beautifully when compared, they're doing beautifully period, but especially when compared to the others. This is the same soil, y'all, but remember, there's a bunch of compost worms in here feeding that soil. Their friends who were moved out of the same pot are not doing as well. No worms in this soil. This was my major clue, that when the worms fed this, it did better. So I think that was the second problem, aphids, and I think the soil is actually stealing nitrogen. So what am I doing about all of this? Now, the very, 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 very first thing I've had to do about all of this, and I've had to do this thing repeatedly, is read my finger. I've had to have a few sessions of and then sometimes it ends like this. So that's where we start. I've had to start with collecting myself because, oh, what a mess. Okay, what I'm doing first for the plants that are already in existence. Let's start there. Neem oil, which you mix with soap and you spray. In a quart, which is about like this, you do 1.5 teaspoons of neem oil. You have to be sure that it's good, cold pressed neem oil. I'll put a link in the description, unsponsored and all that good stuff. So it's 1.5 teaspoons of the neem oil, 1/2 teaspoon of soap, a good soap. You don't want to put chemicals in there. And you put those down into your hose end sprayer, and then you set it, if you have one with settings, to 1 ounce per gallon. And then you hook this up to your hose. This one has a weighted tube, so it always, whichever way you're angling it, it always picks it up. I like that a lot. And then if you have a quick connect, that makes it really easy. You just pop it onto your hose. And then if my hose were turned on, I would then pull its little trigger here and it'll mix it at the right ratio, and then you can spray your plants with that. This is, neem oil is every 5 to 7 days, and I'm doing it once a week right now. And I'm not doing it as strong as the directions because these are seedlings. I'm making it weaker than that. So that's thing number one that I'm doing for the existing plants. I apologize for the lighting over here. It's not the best spot, but it's the best spot for this. All right, the next thing I've done, and this is for the existing plants and the future plants, is that I've made another batch of compost tea. So in here, what we have, it doesn't smell bad if you keep air moving through it. If you let it get stagnant, have you ever left tamales on the counter and found them the next day and they don't smell absolutely repulsive, but it's not a mistake you want to make again? That's what this smells like if you don't have air running through it. I am going to stick my hand in there. No, I'm not. I'm gonna find a tool. What I have down here is a all cotton pajama pant leg stuffed with, that does smell, stuffed with some compost and some comfrey leaves. And they are down in there, bubbling away. And I use my same hose end sprayer, and I've been doing the neem and this together. Oh, and there's the weighted uptake I was telling you about. All I do for this is I just come in here and get some out of there, put my cap back on, click it onto my hose the same as I did with the other stuff. So that compost tea can be used as a foliar spray, or you can water with it. So you can do either with your hose end sprayer, or you can put the compost tea into your watering can and just water like that. This is going to offer nitrogen and basically a full spectrum of nutrition to the plants and to the soil. So that's why it's a spray and a water. So that is one of the things that I'm doing to correct this issue. Let's go look at some more. All right, I am down here in my compost bin asking you, will you please hit subscribe and like? Because doing those things lets YouTube know that people like you like videos like mine. And if you want to find out about what the secret project is over here behind me, hit the notification bell, and then on Friday, it'll let you know when I upload, and you can find out what I'm doing. All right, so moving forward, one thing that I've done that I really wanted to put off, I ordered a great big bag of Happy Frog. That is a potting mix made by Fox Farms. It's not cheap, but it's good. And I am going to try to rehab this soil, and I'll show you that in a minute. But I did go ahead and order a big bag of Happy Frog because I have to have something immediate to fix this problem. So that is one thing that I'm doing, and let me show you things that I want to do to rehab the current soil. So on Friday when I told you about the problem, I showed you this tray, and I told you I had planted a bunch of clover into it. And I think this is red clover, but to be honest, I was in a mood, and I had red clover, crimson clover, and white clover all in my hand, and I don't know which one I put in here. But it doesn't really matter because I'm trying to fix nitrogen into this soil with the clover, and it's going to do that no matter which one it is. Oh, there's a little baby jumpy. Do you see my little jumping spider friend? At first, I was thinking I was just going to let the clover grow in here, and then I was going to cut it down once it got big and plant back into this, but I don't think that's what I'm going to do. I've changed my mind. I think what I would rather do is let these get a little bit bigger, and then take like 3 or 4 or 5 or so of them and put them together in different spots of the yard, and just let there be little clover patches, and just let this not become seed starting soil again. That's fine. And that would be a quick way to get some clover out into the yard without having to go seed everywhere and keep up with watering different spots. I can let it establish in here. I have one more project that I'm doing to try to rehab the soil, but I don't have everything I need for it yet. So I'm gonna go show you what it looks like right now, and I'm gonna give you a little teaser, and you're gonna have to come back on Friday to get the rest of it. Alrighty? Let's go see what's going on over there. Okay, so like I said, this part you're gonna have to wait until Friday because I don't have everything I need for it yet. And this is completely an experiment. I don't know if this is gonna work. Here's the clues I will give you. I have divided a bag of that soil up into 6 3-gallon fabric pots. And I have spaced them out with my potted mints as a border. And I have a rehab plan for this soil. I'm not gonna put plants that I hope to produce food for me into these. I'm not trusting this soil at all right now, but I have a plan, and it is based on the silly tomato experiment. So I may have just given it all away. We'll see. We'll see if you pick up on the clues. If you want to, jump down in the comments and make a guess at what I'm going to do with these fabric pots. If you don't, just come back on Friday and see. I'm going to leave you hanging like that. Thanks for listening to me rant about what I'm going to do about this. I hope you got something out of it and discovered something that might help you as well. I will see you on Friday. Later, y'all. What you think? You want to go be a chicken? Don't go, girl. All right, go be a chicken. Be free, little chicken. You're just gonna stay? Yeah. Okay, there you go. Yeah, I love you too. Bye.